This video explains the correlation between the speed and detail settings and the speed you set your machine to stitch at. I've drawn up this pattern. I have my speed setting set to 1 inch per second, my detail setting set to 0.8 inches per second. Speed is the general speed that the IQ motors will move the machine when it's going on curves and long stretches. The detail setting is the speed the machine will move as it goes through points and corners. Generally, I keep mine just a little bit apart. If you have a really curly pattern with no, or straight line pattern or something with no corners in, then you can keep the speed and details the same. But generally you want a little bit of difference between the two. I've set my machine to constant speed. My dial really doesn't have any numbers, so I'm setting it so the needle is going to go up and down fairly slowly. And when I start sewing, you'll watch the machine sewing. So I'm going to touch start. The machine is going fair, moving slowly. I've got my needle up and down, speed slow, so I've got big stitches. If I slow down the speed on my machine, you see the stitches get even bigger. If I speed up my machine, the needle going up and down, the stitches are getting smaller. So you just have to adjust the constant speed setting on your machine to get the stitch length you like. Now I'm going to pause the machine. And I'm going to change the settings up here. I'm going to increase the speed setting. Now, a red warning came up, stitch regulation required. That's because the difference between the detail setting and the speed setting is too great. The machine has to slow down too much at the points. In order to get rid of that, because we prefer not to run our machines on stitch regulation with IQ, just increase the detail setting. Okay, I'm going to go up to 1.5, this up to 1.3. I haven't changed my dial on my machine, I'm just going to set it to start. You can see it's stitching again. It's getting nice curves, it's going in and out of the points nicely. I may want to speed up the needle a bit to get shorter stitches. That's good. That still gives me a nice pattern. Speed eye constant setting on my machine again. I'm pausing again. Now this time I'm going to speed up IQ again. So I'm going to take it right up to 2.5. And I need to increase my details too because I got that red. Take my details up to 2.2. Okay, now I'm going to start it sewing again and we'll watch the pattern, see how it stitches out. Bobbin ran out, but anyway, let me move the machine out of the way. You can see I'm beginning to get a little bit of distortion. There's a bit of a wobble here, whereas up here when it was moving more slowly I got a nice clean line. Okay, let me change my bobbin out and then we'll continue. Okay, I've changed my bobbin and I finished stitching out this little sequence. Now I've still got the speed setting on IQ at 2.5 inches per second, the details at 2.2 inches per second. And you can see when it came around here I completely lost the point here too. That proves that I've got those settings too fast. Let me increase this some more and you'll see what happens when you have it just way too fast. I've got it up to 3 inches per second and the details up to 2.7 inches per second. And I'm going to start stitching, so watch what happens to this pattern. Now you can see this is quite horrible. I've got wiggles here, in here it comes in nasty. I haven't got a nice sharp point. I've got a horrible round here. So if your pattern stitches out like this, then you know IQ is moving your machine much too fast and you need to decrease the speed and detail setting. When you do that, of course, you need to decrease your speed setting on your machine so your stitches remain the length that you want them to be. So I hope to explain the speed and details settings of IQ.